guys, it's me Kate again. So this video will be all about my reading spreadsheet. So I haven't shared it in a while, but if you've been following me for a while, you'll know that I have it. So I'll use the one that I used for 2024 just because I have because I have all the info inputted, and it will just show you how it works easier this way. So this first column is for the title of the book. Now when it comes to when you input the title, nothing will happen because again it's just the title of the book. I recommend inputting the title when you finish the book, just so it can be accurately tracked later on, but that's just it. Then we have a B column for the author or authors. As you can see, Illuminae is in Gemini written by two authors. Again, manga with two authors, just so you can easier input everything, and again later on it's just the same thing. Let me just drag this out so I can just figure out that I wrote down the wrong surname. And again, that's how it all works. Then this C column is for the month that you finished the book in. So basically, if you finished it in January, you put in January. If you finished it in February, you put in February. This is just so the number of books gets distributed by the months, and if you don't input the month when you finish the book on stats page, this total book's red number won't be accurate, because this number is basically sum of the numbers for the months. So, but we'll get later into the stats portion of the spreadsheet. Then we have the format of the book, where you can put physical book, audio book, or ebook. Now you can edit this and basically put add, and then just add something. But if you do that, you'll have to look your stats for that in the dashboard, because the stats portion only tracks physical audiobooks and ebooks. Then you have pages read. So this basically means how many pages of the book did you read. Basically, if you DNF a book, you just write down the number of pages that you read. Then we have, if you listen to the audiobooks, how many hours of it did you listen to. And if you don't track audiobooks, you can just right click the column and hide the column. Please do not delete anything, because that will mess with the in the other portions of the spreadsheet. Then we have a book linked. So basically, how many pages does the book have in a range in the hundreds? So basically, you have less than 100, 100, 100 to 200, 101 to 200, 201 to 300, and so on, up until the 1000, and then you have 1000 plus. Then after book linked, we have main genre, so fantasy, science fiction, historical fiction, and so on. And then notable subgenre, so for example, urban fantasy, high fantasy, stuff like that. Then we have age code category, which is divided into YA, adult, and middle grade or children's. I don't have to divide middle grade and children's just because together separately they do not make much of a difference in my stats. So yeah, then we have published by, so basically a publisher of the book. And then again, you can edit it if you have some other publisher, which will be reflected in the dashboard part, but not in the stats part unless you manually edit in. Then we have year published in, which is again year the book was published in, divided by the decade. It goes from pre-1900, and then everything then starts with 901 to 110 and goes every 10 years to 2020. And then after 2020 it goes 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, and 2025 as separate years. Again, as the time goes on, I will add additional years. Then we have, is it a reread? So is it a reread? Basically, yes, no question. Then is it a series or standalone? Then you put if it's a series, and if it's a standalone, standalone. Then you have first, in the middle, or last in series. I didn't want to put start of the series, sequel, or finishing a series just because where is that note? For example, volume 8, it's neither a sequel or the last in a series, but it's in the middle of the series, because as you can see, volume 12 is last in the series. So yeah, that just so it's easier to track for me. And we have, is DNF or not? I didn't DNF any books this year, so this is all no. And then main DNF reason, again, you can write here anything you want. This won't be tracked. Then we have date started. For example, Illumina, I started on January 1st and finished on January 2nd. So this second column is date finish, and then they read in X days basically is this minus this plus 1. You can see S2 minus S1 plus 1. Why? Because if I just put it S2 minus R2, it won't accurately track because 2 is more than 1, but if I put it plus 1, this accurately reflects that you read the book in 2 days, not just 1 day. Then language reading, again, this is where you put in which language you read the book. You can edit this, but again, go on to dashboard to see the accurate stats, unless you edit stats portion yourself. is it translated? Again, yes, no question. If it is, you put in yes. If it isn't, you put in no. Then if it is translated, you have language translated from, and this is language is always wrongly spelled in my spreadsheets. So just an FYI, I'll try to edit the file. You get then we have LGBTQ plus rep. This is yes no portion, because separately you have the type of LGBTQ plus rep that's available, and same thing with disability rep. Again, these are just limited options with the ones that I most accurate most of the time get in the books that I read, but you can edit them. You have then we get into the portion for the authoring for the first author's race. Now, I know that some people track the specific ethnicity, but I just put white, Asian, or black just because for some authors you can I cannot find specific their specific ethnicity online. Then we have author's gender. We have male, female, multiple authors or other. Basically, again, are there male author, female author? Then when it comes to multiple authors, for example, in in women and China, we have one male and one female author. So this is why that's it. This is the option. Then we have is your author as a form of yes or no question. If it is new to you, author, you put in yes. If it isn't, it's no. Then is author part of LGBTQIA plus community? Yes, no question. It's just so you can track that. You have author's nationality, which you can edit. And we have is does the book have own voices representation? Is yes or no question. And just because I don't track a specific own voices representation. And then this sourced from section is if you owned it, got from library or some other place. And then we have pace of a book, is it slow, medium, or fast paced? This is purely your own estimate. And then is it for readathon as yes or no question? And then we get into the ratings. So you have these 5 categories. Now this won't work for non-fiction, as for non-fiction you would put these characters to 0 and plot to 0, and instead of this rating portion, instead of it being divided by 5, if you would put it divided by 3, and then you'll get the rating out of 10, and then it will here calculate how many stars it is based on its formula here, and then you can put if it is your favorite or not. And because I changed this, let's go to original view. Now we're going into the start portion. First, these 3 are how many books in total did you read, and this is calculated again from from these numbers of how many books you read in a month. Then books finished and how many books did you DNF. Calculate from this DNF or not column. So if you put in a no here, it will calculate that the book is finished. But if you put in a yes, for example, we'll put here, says yes, it will show that the book was DNF'd. Let's change this back to no. Now, this month reading gets populated from this month column, and then this just the average of these numbers. Now this total pages read gets populated by the pages read column, and then average per book basically is dividing the total pages read and total books read numbers. Average per month is basically the amount of pages in a is basically comes from a table labeled this same version of the table, but instead of books it calculates the amount of pages, and it's just the average of that. Then the average per week is the number of pages divided by the number of the weeks in the year, and the average per day is number of pages divided by the number of days in a year. Now this is divided by 365. 2024 had one more day, but it wasn't worth changing it just for once every 4 years. The Newton author gets calculated by if you put in yes in new to your author column. Then average days per book, it's basically number of average days per book is basically number of days in a year divided by the number of books that you read. Now what this rating in stars is how many books got how many stars, and then this is the average rating. Nope. I have to also apparently fix this formula because it's crazy. And then here you have these stats for yes or no, so no questions. So if the book is for readathon, if the author is part of LGBTQ plus community, is it on voices or is it translated? Then we have the number of books that you reread and how many did you read for the first time, and it's just the number of the books that you put in as favorite. Then here, let's go here. Again, we went through this. Then this is the these are the stats or where you source the books from. Here we have the author's nationality and age range. Then here we have uh, publication year table, which is really interesting. Like it's just a bunch of numbers. And here we have the format of the books. Is it series or is it standalone, and which in the series is it? And then here we have language read in. If you translated, which language is it translated from? And then we have notable subgenre and main genre here. Then we have kind of LGBTQ plus web with some of them, kind of disability rep, and then piece of the book. And here you can see that number of pages thing that I was talking about. Then how many pages is it in a book. Then here we have author's race and author's gender. And of course the last part of the stats page is the publisher. Then we get into dashboard, which is just a bunch of pie charts. Then we have one to read, so basically title and the author of the book you want to read. And we have here, if you participate in a reading challenge, to put the name of the reading challenge, prompts, and books for that prompts. So yeah, I'll leave the link to this spreadsheet down below. To get this spreadsheet, you go to File, make a copy, and then what's the name of the copy, and put make a copy. Please do not ask for the access to this file, to the file you get, because there's just an example file of one of my previous years reading spreadsheet. So yeah, this is it for this video. If you liked it, please like, share, and subscribe. Down below my social media, my email, and some other stuff, and I'll see you next one.